Good day, and welcome to the WANA webinar series. As you will notice, all participants have been muted. If you have a question to ask, please send your question into the Q&A panel located on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, and your questions will be answered after the presentation. If you have any technical issues, please send a private chat to the host, the directions of which you can find in the chat window. Thank you for joining. Please welcome Anita Brix from Clubhouse International.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone joining from around the Clubhouse world. And welcome for today's webinar. This is our 5th webinar in the webinar series covering the topic beginning the process of reopening our clubhouses. It is great having you all with us today. I wish I could see you all, but it would really take a huge screen since we already have more than 190 people attending this live session today. Luckily, I do see 6 of our great Clubhouse colleagues with us, and they're ready and engaged to share with us experiencing from reopening their clubhouses. I would like to welcome from the Waterheuvel in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, Dineke Hofstra and Petra Nieuwlaat.
Hi everyone, hello.
And from Fontenehuset in Oslo, Norway, we have Birgit Larsplass and Bitt.
Hi everybody.
And from Gateway, South Carolina, the United States, we have William Obert and Randy Redlinger.
Hello, everybody.
Later in the webinar, we will also welcome from Phoenix Clubhouse, Hong Kong, Wendy and Rennie Rathour. It is night in Hong Kong, so they will not be with us live, but we have a taped interview with Wendy and Rennie. Before starting talking about the process of reopening the Clubhouse, I would like to say that it's important to share that Clubhouse International is not endorsing any of the reopening plans that we will share with you today, since each Clubhouse has to comply with your regulation in your country and regions. So what we hope for today is that you will get some ideas and some tips of how to make this work within the specific regulations of your area. So I have prepared some questions for the panel today, and I would like to turn the camera and the microphone to Gateway and hear how you have planned reopening your Clubhouse.
Thank you, Anita, and greetings to everyone around the world that has joined us. First, I must say these are definitely uncharted waters, so we are taking it step by step. We definitely realize that it's not going to be a quick process, that we can just open our doors, but there's been a lot of intentional planning and step-by-step process in order to begin thinking about reopening and prepare our Clubhouse community for that. I think one of the key things that we're looking at, as Anita said, is we're looking at the guidance of our local authorities and those that are guiding the businesses around our community. So as we think of our work order day follows the typical work order day of our business community. So therefore, because of that, we're also looking at how our businesses are reopening within our community and their facilities. So, so one of the things that first phase that we started to do, of course, is engage our staff back, our employees back into the program. Up to this point, a lot of our staff have been working staggered shifts and remotely connecting with our members. We've continued reaching out, also using the Gateway Virtual Clubhouse platform through Facebook, connecting through very similar programs as the WebEx program here, but connecting and keeping up with our members and keeping them engaged the best that we can. So as our staff have come back and now we're rethinking of opening our Clubhouse, we're starting to look at our space. Our space needs to change. We need to start looking for those opportunities of where we can make that physical distancing between each other as we work side by side in our Clubhouse. So it definitely has been a challenge. It is something we're working through right now. We've also encouraged our staff to start establishing a work order day routine. And in doing so, of course, are connected in their units. They're reaching out and connecting with members through video chat and FaceTime and Zoom meetings and all kinds of opportunities we have to connect with one another, to start talking about what this reopening is going to look like, to prepare ourselves and to educate ourselves as to what that's going to look like. So as we're rearranging our space, we're also making sure that we have plenty of PPE protective device, that we've got plenty of cleaning supplies, disinfectant, and starting to talk through how that's going to look in our new routine of keeping our spaces sanitized and clean and being very aware of that. And then as we do begin to soft start and begin to open up to more members coming in and participating in prepping our clubhouse, we're going to be talking about, who should be the first phase coming back into the clubhouse. We're looking at those who are still considered at-risk individuals that maybe need to still remain sheltered according to the guidance of our communities. And then also be aware of those that might be showing symptoms or signs or not feeling well, and encouraging them to stay home and wait it out. But of course, we will continue to reach out and connect with them to make sure that they don't feel that they are alone through this whole process. So even while we open up slowly, member by member, we're still continuing that remote connection and reach out to our members and making sure that they still feel connected with their clubhouse, and we're providing that support. So as we do soft start, we'll definitely be looking at the businesses in our community at what our capacity is and trying to keep it at that capacity, and then growing as our community is growing at various businesses. We're looking at the restaurant businesses. What are guidelines and directions that they've been given to provide food service? So we're looking at our own food service within our clubhouse and how we accommodating that within our clubhouse space. We've even set up outside tables and stuff so that we can eat outside. We're fortunate in South Carolina, we have beautiful weather right now. And so that's been very helpful to accommodate that and have that space available to us. So it's definitely a step-by-step. It's a very intentional, slow process, but the bottom line is that our clubhouse need to reopen. Our members need their clubhouse. And I think everything's worked so well because of the meaningful relationships that we have developed, but we know that really those relationships happen by working side by side together. So we're going to do everything we can to safely bring that back and to reopen and establish our clubhouse.
Just taking time to get it open and getting members floated to come back.
Thank you, William and Randy. I would like to ask Oslo the same question. So how have you planned your reopening? Have you followed any procedures from your municipality or the government, or have you internally planned reopening the clubhouse?
Okay, thank you, Anita, for the question. Hello, everybody. It's good. I'm not seeing you, but it's good to be here and sharing all the experience that we have been having. I hope everybody is well and safe. So our clubhouse has been following the national regulation for the COVID-19, and we've been following that since March, and our clubhouse is closed at March 13. So when the government gradually reopened the country, our clubhouse also looked into how we could reopen our clubhouse. So myself, with the chairman and a member, Birgit, who's sitting next to me, we sat down and made a plan to when we should open and how we should open. So as Gateway is also mentioned, it's step by step, and I think it's the most important thing has been to make sure everybody feels safe to come back to the clubhouse. So we know, everybody knows that the clubhouse is an important community for our members, and we want to reopen as soon as possible, but we still have to make it a little bit slow and make sure everybody feels safe. So we have analyzed every possible risk to when we are reopening it, and we started a process to make a plan. And first of all, we asked every members and staff who is in the risk group to consider where it's good for them to return to the clubhouse or not. And this decision should not be made by the clubhouse, so we have encouraged the members or the staff who is not sure if they should come back to the clubhouse to get in touch with their GP. And also the national measures and all with how many people we could be together, how distance is between people has been important measures for us, and we've been following that, and that is absolute requirement to have the clubhouse open. In addition, we also recommend everyone to avoid any unnecessary travel of public transport, if that's possible. So the clubhouse has been open, and we can have it open if able to maintain the washing and cleaning routines. That's been important. And we also ask each person able to follow the infection control regulation that a country has have. So if you have any symptom of flu or cold or coughing or something, then we ask people to stay at home. So we started opening up on April 22nd, and so we've been open for 3 weeks. The number of members who has been allowed in the clubhouse has based on the first come first served basis, and we thought in many different ways, but it's always difficult to make it fair enough or how to take care of everybody. But we felt the first week that was the best and fairest way to do it. We also recommend everybody to attend to the clubhouse at their regular times. So that will give a smoother flow and better distribution through the day. This method would allow more members to have the opportunity to attend to the clubhouse. And that's been working, I think, pretty good. So we start the opening in phases. So the first week we had, it's possible to be 15 person at the clubhouse at the same time. We also have a garden who's like 15 minutes from the clubhouse. So we also open up that the garden to have like the work or the day there. So that was possible to be 10 people at the same time there. And it was possible to be 2 at a reach out car. So the first week we open up, and then the second week we open up for 20 people at the clubhouse. And the third week we were supposed to open up for 25, but it felt like too rushy, so we just held on the 20. So we make an evaluation every week with our chairman, with Birgit here as a member, and you know, to define what the next step is. So it's important, as I said, that everybody feels safe. So yeah, we're taking it step by step, but it's been amazing. Open up our doors again, and we, as I said, we have been open for 3 weeks, and we already have 70 unique members come by for the work or the days. So we are very happy. Yeah.
Thank you, Bitt. I think so many out there behind the computer now envy that you have your doors open and have had that for 3 weeks. That's amazing. I would like to hear from the Waterheuvel. I know you have been open since just this Monday. So how did you plan the reopening? I know you have been very busy planning opening your doors Monday this week.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we reopened our clubhouse last Monday on a very small scale. You have to know that the Waterheuvel is fully funded by the municipality of Amsterdam, so we follow their regulation on opening and of course closing our doors. Because like all other service providers and daycare centers in Amsterdam, we had to close our doors on Monday 16th of March. And you can imagine what an impact that had on members and staff, because it's the first time in 35 years of existence of the Waterheuvel that we had to close our doors. And it became, soon it became clear it was really serious business, and it could take for months to have these drastic measures to prevent the virus. But we found a way to keep the community of the Clubhouse together by Zoom meetings and all kinds of online activities. So we also developed all kinds of digital skills in an unexpected, fast way. And I was really surprised by the resilience of members and staff, how they cope with the new situation. In the meantime, we kept close contact with the municipality on several matters. We informed them how we keep our service and availability for our members going while the doors were closed. And we shared all our experience with other service providers in Amsterdam. We have like a network, so that was we are doing this really together in the city of Amsterdam. And we talked about the funding of the Clubhouse. I know that there are Clubhouses who are really get funding cuts or whatever, but the municipality of Amsterdam keeps on us paying like they used to do. That's we're very happy with that. After a few weeks of what we call in the Netherlands an intelligent lockdown, we got in general increasing worried about the most vulnerable and isolated people in Amsterdam, because a lack of day activities and contact with others has a great negative impact on mental health. So, commissioned by the municipality of Amsterdam, we were allowed to start up some activities on a very small scale for the most vulnerable people of Amsterdam. And there were all kinds of conditions involved, like we have to select the most vulnerable participants. We had to organize the group as small as possible, fixed groups. The participants need to stay on one place, and we had to clean before and after use, and so on. So at first we weren't that enthusiastic as a Clubhouse to because it in any way does not match the way that we want to work. You can imagine if we have to select the members who can come and who not, or you have to make an appointment up front to come to the Clubhouse. It's we are not. That's not the way that we used to work together in Clubhouse. So we weren't the first like day activity centers have opened the doors in Amsterdam, but we started to translating this opportunity into Clubhouse language and a Clubhouse way of work, because we really wanted to start up the side-by-side work, and we wanted to give the members the opportunity to come and help us at the Waterheuvel, working together and getting the things done, like cooking meals and the cleaning and the reach out, which was done when we were closed, partly in the Clubhouse by staff, but also a few members working from home. But we wanted to approach our members because we really need them and we miss them, and we do not want to determine or select who needs the Clubhouse the most. So we found our way to start up on a very small scale, and since Monday, members can come to work. But they have to make an appointment for a certain day, for a certain time, and a certain task, because we had to keep 3 members maximum per shift. But members can work in the garden, at the office, in the kitchen, at the reception desk. And of course, we have to keep 1.5 meters distance, clean our hands, clean the place, use plastic gloves and mouth caps in the kitchen. But we are so happy that there are members at the Clubhouse. And we are planning to build this step by step allowing every week more members to come and work, and hoping that soon that we are the vivid Clubhouse that we were before this crisis.
Thank you, Petra. It is a true Clubhouse spirit to find your way despite of all the regulations. So great to hear.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Birgit and Bitt from Oslo could say a bit about the overall feeling now, these early days of opening your Clubhouse after the long time of total isolation.
First of all, the members are glad to be back at the Clubhouse. But the Clubhouse is a bit different than it used to be. The work order day is filled with, as Petra just mentioned, cleaning and disinfection. But it seems like the members have a good understanding and accepting of the changes of the work order day. We emphasize the side-by-side work with the same distance as you do in Waterheuvel. We help each other to prevailing the rules from the government, and that's why we do all the cleaning, of course. The work is done, as I said, side by side and in small groups. At the allotment or the garden, there are a bit bigger groups because it's outdoors, of course. And I think because the tasks are urgent, the members they grab the tasks more than before. They are more eager. Yeah. So overall, I think members and staff feel safe and secure, and we think that the thorough plans for a gradually reopening is the key to the success.
Let us hear from Gateway how the interest from members in coming back to the physical Clubhouse after the time of isolation.
Well, for the members here, for me, I felt a little excited that coming back to Clubhouse and getting back in the field of work order day. We just had 3 members come in today from different apartment complexes, and they were excited to come back. And they were happy to get back in the work order day and the swing of things and keep distancing from each other, wearing our face masks, our PPEs, and just getting the feel of the work order day coming back. We're also having our Zoom unit meetings. We're having members join that, and just all in all, feeling good to come back. And hopefully next month we'll be introducing our new Clubhouse, coming back to our new Clubhouse and moving in, and members is excited to get ready to move in a new Clubhouse.
Yeah, I wish I had video of members coming in this morning. I think it's going to be like a family reunion, I think, for the next couple of weeks as more members come back, and we just welcome them back like, we haven't seen each other in a couple of months, which is true.
Yeah.
So our members are very excited, and our staff as well,
Yeah.
Of being back and getting our members back and, again, working together.
And even skipping a beat in the work order day. Just helping out, doing what needs to be done in the work order day.
Thank you. I think that picture of the family reunion is a great way of picturing how it was opening the doors.
Yeah.
And promise to share with us the pictures of the new Clubhouse. Can't wait to see it. I would like to look back to Oslo. You have been open for the 3 weeks, and you have a fixed number of people you can allow to the clubhouse each day. Has there been an issue with too many people wanting to come to the clubhouse at the same time? And if so, how did you address this situation?
Well, we were aware and prepared that many members want to come back to the clubhouse. But it's the beauty about Clubhouse, we just make it work. So the first couple of weeks, the first week, we had some people who came to the clubhouse, but it was full. But then we have the opportunity to, it was beautiful weather, so we had the opportunity to sit outside the clubhouse and just, you know, talking, and it was just good to see each other. I think the method that we have chosen, and you know, and recommend everybody to come as in their regular time, that's been made, giving that smoother flow and better distribution throughout the day, so that's been working. But we have been prepared that if it was a lot of people who had to be on the waiting list or didn't came in, we had a plan to then divide the day by 2, so like have people coming before lunch and then other people to come after lunch. But that hasn't been an issue, and I think it's also partly because of the reopening of the clubhouse is in addition to all the different ways we support our members through this pandemic. So we still do the reach out by phone and text. We have the opportunity and space in the garden, so that the members who don't maybe is afraid to be inside, they can be outside and still be a part of the work of the day. We have a reach out car that's driving around city who's meeting up members for a coffee or a walk, and we have we are delivering food, homemade food by the clubhouse to our members. So I think when we have all the different other ways to support our members, that helps a lot when we, in addition to open the clubhouse.
Because a lot of members, they live quite far from the house, so they have to use the public transport. But as the government says, you don't have to, you shouldn't take the buses or trams. The members have chosen to stay at home. But by this reach out car system, I think we have met several people from over 100 in total, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100 out of 288 active members before the closing. Yeah.
It will be very interesting to follow how your adds to the operation will continue, and if there's some of the work that you have been doing during the pandemic will be things that you will adopt to the clubhouse. So I hope that we can check in a while and see how that is going. Let us hear from Dineke and from if you could give us a little story or an incident, give us a little flavor about what it is coming back to the clubhouse and what it has meant for the members.
Yes, I will. Good afternoon. The first 2 weeks I can work at home from the reach out, and I was very delighted because I thought nobody comes to disturb me. It's nice, it's silent, I like it a lot. That were the first 2 weeks. And then there came a feeling in my stomach. I thought it's not nice because normally we work with a few members together to the reach out, And now you cannot ask something to each other because everybody works from his own place. So it was not nice anymore. And then instead of the Zoom, the video chat, the
Online yoga.
the online meetings, and when we saw each other here for taking meals, because the staff was very nice to bring us meals, to cook for us, and then sometimes you saw a colleague, it was nice. Well, it wasn't the same like before. And now I heard a colleague said, I may work this Monday, this last Monday, the 11th of May. I can work in the kitchen. He said yes, and I said yes, because he called me. And then after when he comes home, and I phoned him, and I said, I went to the Waterheuvel, the Clubhouse, and it was really nice. It was lasagna. It was so nice, better than before. And he said, "Oh, it was so nice to cook there and to cook with the staff, with one staff member, and it was really really nice." And then I phoned with a colleague, and she said, "Well, I want to work on Thursday for the reach out, to making cards and to writing cards. Well, maybe you want?" Or I said, "No, you can go. It's all right with me." But it feels strange because I'm now here, but after a while I went home. It's very strange. I don't know, and I cannot wait, and a lot of members, we cannot wait till we can come back all together and work side by side, because it's not usual, it's not normal now. You can work from home, but it's not the same. You miss the colleagues, you miss the staff, you miss the talking, you miss when somebody is bothering you, disturbing you. It doesn't matter anymore. But now I'm at my place and everybody's at his own place, and it's not really nice anymore. I cannot wait till we come back.
Thank you, Dineke. It's just so touching to hear that, it really puts, the eyes on why it's so important that we have our doors open and that you can work from home, but it's definitely not the same as being around your colleagues in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I have one more question before we hear from Phoenix Clubhouse, and I would ask William and Wendy what the biggest challenge has been for the clubhouse in making this transition to opening the doors.
Well, I think the biggest challenge as we do begin opening is continue to provide the support and stuff for those that are still sheltering. So we're almost running still the virtual clubhouse and those connections remotely, as well as now focusing on the physical clubhouse opening and getting it established. And then we have an additional challenge, is that in about a month and a half, we'll start moving into a brand new space. And so maybe this is just preparing us for that and transitioning to a new space. So it's almost like opening a new clubhouse. We're starting all over again, reestablishing our work order days and connections, and deeply leaning on our relationships, both with members and members, and members and staff and staff and staff. Relationships are so important. I think through this whole pandemic, I think it's really revealed those relationships and those connections that we've generally had with our clubhouse.
Becoming more close and understanding from member to member, actually just connecting with each other, just talking, chilling, having just fun at home, but it's better to come back to the clubhouse for me.
Thank you. So I can see that our Q&A is busy with questions coming in from the attendees. But before we go to the Q&A, we will hear from Wendy and Rennie from Phoenix Clubhouse, Hong Kong.
Hello everyone, greeting from Phoenix Clubhouse, Hong Kong. I'm Wendy.
I'm Rennie. Hello.
Hi. Today we are going to share our experience with you guys. I will start with a very quick update of our Clubhouse and then end up with the answers to the 2 questions from Anita. So, actually the COVID-19 crisis started in January this year in Hong Kong, but Phoenix Clubhouse has maintained open during the past few months. So all of the 4 units are open for the work ordered day. We work on Monday to Friday full day, and we have half-day social program on Saturdays and public holidays. Yet the service is somehow scaled down. For example, we do not have volunteers coming, we suspend the night program, and we limit the group size and also avoid going to crowded areas for the social programs. The daily attendance dropped by about 15% initially, but now it's getting better. We try to use Zoom for the virtual routine, but seems that the people in Hong Kong are not very ready for this. Maybe they concern the privacy issue and they have limited budget. So we respect their choice and we tend to use the most simple yet effective platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, SMS. We send them written information with videos and pictures about our Clubhouse. We believe that our Clubhouse can connect them in this way. So now we can go to the first question, Rennie. So how is the interest from our members in coming back to the Clubhouse?
Actually, most of the members, they have a strong feeling of coming back to the Clubhouse. They have a strong sense of belonging here. But a minority of the members, they do not feel this way because pressure comes from their family members who are very worried about them being having a risk of catching the virus if they come back to the crowd of members here. And also another reason is because they have a lack of surgical masks, and if they come back, they will use up a large number of surgical masks. And also, they feel that they have a risk of having to carry out self-quarantine once they come back if they do catch the virus.
Yes, but we noticed that they are very happy to meet each other in the Clubhouse. They enjoy the reunion like a family here. And if you guys are planning to reopen your Clubhouse, maybe we can share our tentative plan with you, because we noticed that we are having more and more members coming back as the situation in Hong Kong is getting better. We plan to discuss with the member. Maybe they can come back with a changed schedule. Maybe they can come back on alternative days or half-day basis, so that all the members can share the chance to come back when the number of participants is under good control for good infection control. So now we can go to the second question.
Okay. Wendy,
yeah.
What has been the biggest challenge for the Clubhouse in making this transition?
Yes, I think you will agree with me that the top one concern is the technology. Because in such condensed city, we are so fond of face-to-face interaction. We are not very ready for using Zoom. So we have to review the situation and change our strategies regularly. This is the first concern. And during the whole crisis, we think we have to encounter the challenge that it is quite difficult to make sure that all the people coming, including our staff and members, will follow the instructions on infection control. Because it is not easy for us to build up new habits. We have to make sure that we will wear our surgical mask properly and do good hand hygiene and avoid too close body contact. So we have to remind each other in everyday meeting, in newsletter, and during the work order day task as well. And maybe another challenge is the stability of employment program is influenced. Some of our members encounter the work from home policy from the employer, or some of them have reduced working schedule, so the income is reduced. We think these two factors will affect their mental health, so we have to pay many phone calls for them for both social support and problem solving. So we hope that this experience from our Clubhouse will be helpful to you guys. And if you have any concern or questions, please don't hesitate to contact us through any means, such as emails. We can keep connected because we are working together and stronger. Please take good care.
Take care. Stay healthy.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great. We'll move over to our question and answers. For those that have a question they would like to ask, please submit your question and comments in the Q&A panel located at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Your first question is, how did you determine how many members can safely attend in your physical space, and how do you determine who comes at what time? Do you create a schedule?
Let us hear from the Waterheuvel in this question.
Yes. First question is how we determine how many members. First, we had to take into account that we have to these conditions from the municipality of Amsterdam, but we also measure literally 1.5 meters and make work spaces, and so we can determine what our maximum capacity is. And the next question is how we determine who can work. It's like the first who calls first in and makes an appointment is the first that can come and work. We do not determine you need more than another member. What we do know which members really need to work at the clubhouse, and we reach out to them and come on, make an appointment, when can we see you, when can you come? So in that way.
Perfect. Thank you. Our next question is, how do you handle reaching out to members to ensure that they know the reopening information?
William and Wendy, will you take this question?
Sure. Probably the biggest thing is that we have a housing program that's part of our clubhouse. So we have 70 apartments that a lot of our members live at. So we are constantly out and communicating with those members living at the apartment. So that's one way that we're keeping them updated and kind of holding at bay until we're able to open and invite more members to come back. Also through our Clubhouse virtual Facebook group that we've established, we're in constant communication with them. We do a live video every day at 1:30 where we're talking about the current situation here at the Clubhouse and getting input from members joining that. So those are probably the main two beyond just telephonic and calling our members, and as well as members calling into the Clubhouse and touching base.
And members don't reach out to members that don't live in our apartments and keep track of that. It actually helps a lot better to see how many members have been contacted through reach out and people that were left a message. And it actually helps a lot better so they can keep in contact and understand exactly when Gateway's going to open and when we're going to have more members come back.
Great. Now for Gateway, they did want to hear from you on the first question as well. So again, how did you determine how many members can safely attend in your physical space, and how do you determine who comes at what time? Do you create a schedule?
As far as determining how many members, again, we're going to be looking at that guidance in our community as far as what they're saying, our capacity of those that we serve. Right now, in the business kind of retail type of situation, it's 20%. Restaurants started just this week at 50% of their capacity. So we kind of put ourselves kind of in between those two to kind of judge of kind of how we fall into that. As far as which members are starting to come back, we're really, as we are establishing that work order day in our units, we're identifying those members that have those talents and abilities to be able to come in and continue to help and support that process to prepare our clubhouse to reopen.
Thank you. Our next question, are you still incorporating Clubhouse from home activities even after you begin reopening? What will you carry forward from the lockdown period into your working practices?
We heard a bit from Oslo in this matter, so I think we should turn the microphone to the Waterheuvel again.
Thank you. In what way we gonna keep the the virtual clubhouse? I think there are a few things that are really that we're gonna keep in the future, like using Zoom to meet with members who aren't coming to the clubhouse or not able to come to the clubhouse. And that we have online yoga and sports. We will definitely keep that.
I really like that.
Yeah, and the possibility to work for the clubhouse from your home is also for some members. Like we send them packages how to make reach out cards, and people are of members who are staying at the hospital or far away from the clubhouse can make these postcards for the clubhouse at home, and we definitely keep that possibility. That's something that we learned in this period of time, and we definitely want to keep that kind of activities. Yes, Dineke?
My experience is that a lot of members like the cards who are made by other members, more than the cards that we bought in the shop.
Great, thank you. Our next question, are you screening staff and members at all before they are allowed into the building?
I think we should ask Oslo this question, Birgit and Bitt.
No, we don't screen anybody. We trust people,
But we also encourage people to be aware of all the symptoms. So when people is coming to the clubhouse, by the reception, we are greeting people and wishing people, welcoming people back. But we also go through the routine and how it should be and how to keep it safe. And we also then mention, if you have any experience or any symptom of anything, you have to stay at home. So yeah.
Thank you. Our next question, how are you handling culinary operations while maintaining distance and ensuring safe food preparation practices for serving lunch?
Oslo, I think we should turn the camera to you again, because I know that you have had some thoughts about the lunch in the clubhouse during the reopening.
Well, after a couple of weeks after the lockdown, we starting up a pilot at the clubhouse where it was 4 members and 1 staff that was running the kitchen. And we were trying to, help people to get healthy food, and we were driving them to all the members. So when we have been open up now for 3 weeks, the culinary unit, it's not open for everybody. We're still running that pilot project and doing the lunch and driving out for members, because we find it a little bit difficult to reopen the unit and have many people coming in and out. I think the cleanliness and the security for making preparation of the food, it's very important. So now the unit is not open, so it's it's the same 5 person who's running the project. They are not incorporating with the clubhouse. They have their own door entrance. So they're just together, the 5 people. We think that's been safe. So I think we're gonna keep it like that, but also, we're just going to see how the national regulation is going to be, soon. The restaurant, and all the bars, and it's opening up. So I think we just have to follow them.
Thank you. Is everyone required to wear masks inside the clubhouse?
William and Randy, I could see that you have a mask in the room. Can you let us know what the situation is in South Carolina and Gateway?
Well, if I'm out and about in the community, I always wear my mask so I don't try to get sick or anything. And I try to keep my distance from people when I'm shopping. And in the clubhouse, I'll wear it so I don't get sick again or any time. And it helps.
Yeah. So we have connected with a lot of places in our community that have been able to supply us with enough masks. Actually, we have 300 masks available so that as people are coming into our facility, we're able to offer that to them. And so as we're in group situations and connecting with each other, then we do have those facial guards that we can use to protect each other. And again, it's going to that point of helping us to feel safe as we return into our clubhouse facility.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have thoughts about how you would discourage public transportation if most people come that way in urban settings?
I know that you in Oslo have let the members know that they should not use the public transportation. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we are following like the national requirements. So the country of Norway is saying that they are recommending everyone who can to avoid unnecessary travel on public transport. So we just kind of giving the same message as our government is given. And we haven't done it, but another thought about it that we had earlier is maybe to renting a car and help transporting members to the clubhouse, but we haven't done it yet. As it helps when we have the reach out car that driving out to other parts of the city to meet members. So the members who's living too far away, then we still can meet them. So the people who's in nearer the clubhouse, they can come by walking or bicycling. And also we are open the clubhouse from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon to avoid rush hours. So I think that also helps avoiding the rush hours. Yeah.
Let us direct the same question to Dineke and Petra.
It's the same situation here in the Netherlands. The regulations say that you have to avoid using public transport. From the 1st of June, public transport will be normal, but you have to wear a mouth cap on public transport. So we have our own mouth masks. We made them, let them make them for members to that they can use public transport from the 1st of June. But it is a problem. We really discourage to come by public transport.
Thank you. Do you welcome new members during confinement and since reopening, or have you put that on hold for now?
William and Randy, will you answer this question?
Sure. So even during this pandemic, we've been receiving referrals of new members coming into our program. Actually, we have 30 members that are kind of in waiting until we are able to get our clubhouse back established. But in the meantime, we're definitely reaching out to those potential members and connecting with them. We have both a member and staff team that are doing that. So each week they're being connected with to assure them, you know, the clubhouse is here and we're doing everything we can to get reopened and eventually welcome them into our community. So, so even through the pandemic, that hasn't stopped. The need of the clubhouse is still there, and people are wanting to come in and join. So we're doing the best we can to connect with them and make them feel welcomed until we can get them into the clubhouse.
Great, thank you. Are there any written guidelines regarding reopening that members and staff can use to ensure the community is safe?
Will you take this last question?
About the guidelines, the municipality of Amsterdam was very clear on what the conditions were. I can translate it into English and share them through this audience of the webinar. It's no problem, yeah. But it's all about hygienic, keeping distance, using gloves and mouth caps, I think like the rest of the world. But also be aware of the most vulnerable people and let them in first. It's, I think, up to a clubhouse if you want to do that, but that are the conditions from the municipality of Amsterdam.
Thank you, Petra. We definitely would welcome that, and we as well have some pictures that we didn't show today from Phoenix Clubhouse, showing how they have arranged their canteen and their units to make sure that they keep the distance that is recommended. So before ending our session today, I would just like to thank everyone for attending the live session, joining from your computer at home or from your Clubhouse with a video system. And I want to send a huge thank to Bitt and Birgit, to Petra and Dineke, Wendy and Rennie, and William and Randy. It was great spending an hour here with you today. I really enjoyed it. And I also want to thank all the people working behind the scene of planning these webinars. So every week, a team from Fountain House, Center for Leadership and Education, from Clubhouse International, and from IVCI put together these webinars together with our presenters, and it's been a pleasure to working with all of you. I would ask you all to join us again next week, next Wednesday, May 20th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the same time as today. We will have our 6 webinars that will cover the topic, what is our Clubhouse community learning about ourselves, about our standards and our relationships and our flexibility. And the presenters for next week's webinar will be Progress Place from Toronto, Canada. So I hope to see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining today. We did receive many questions, and if we were unable to answer your question, please send them to the WANA webinar at fountainhouse.org or directly to the presenters whose information can be found on the Clubhouse International directory. The recording will be available next week, and the slides will be distributed tomorrow. There will be a survey on screen once the event ends. Please take a moment to fill it out and give us your feedback. Thank you for coming to the webinar. Please be on the lookout for announcements regarding our future webinars. Have a great day.